Welcome to Today of All Days, episode 110.
And that brings us to... Today is Mo Money, Mo Problems Monday, September 25th, 2017. And we're gonna get right into it with...
Today in History. In 1926, Henry Ford announces an 8-hour workday and a 5-day work week.
Henry Ford is the creator of the Ford Motor Company. Changing an 8-hour workday was a huge decision that would affect tons of employees and would pave the way for other companies to change as well.
Some credit Ford with creating these new work conditions, but many believe that the labor unions of the time were the true reason that larger companies like Ford started to question their working conditions.
Labor unions were calling for 8-hour workdays since 1884. There were many demonstrations held by these unions that turned violent and even resulted in some deaths. This is what brought work hours to become an issue nationally and internationally.
Ford's decision to implement the 8-hour workday and higher wages was strictly a business decision. This attracted skilled workers from other companies to come and work for Ford. However, the $5 wage was not guaranteed and could be taken away at any moment. Many companies ended up doing this exact thing when the Great Depression hit. There were actually reports that they would even go and inspect the homes of the employees to see if they qualified for the $5 an hour wage. How would you feel about that? Someone coming in your home seeing if you're worth $5.
Although Ford did this for his company, millions of other workers were still putting in ridiculous hours, especially the railroad workers. In 1919, 4 million workers went on strike demanding the 5-day work week. That's roughly 20% of the industrial workforce. No wonder they were calling in the National Guard. That's a lot of people. In some states where railroad working was the most prevalent job, you had almost a whole community of people on strike, and they got pretty serious with it. They were decoupling the cars. They would just flat out block the railways. They would tip the cars over and make it so that companies could no longer function because the rail lines stopped.
They're like, you start messing with our money, we're gonna start doing something about it. Not giving you what you asked for, but we'll handle you in other ways. Finally, in 1938, Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Fair Labor Standards Act, which called for a 44-hour work week, and by 1940, it had been dropped to 40 hours a week. And 40 hours a week is what we know as the norm today. However, it's still common for people to work over 40 hours. Almost 4 out of 10 people reported working over 50 hours a week.
On top of that, Americans have fewer vacation days than most other countries. On average, full-time workers get about 15 days of vacation yearly. Europeans are given 28 days, and the Asia-Pacific receives 19 days.
And most of the time, including the other countries, they don't even use all the time. On average, Americans use 14 out of the 15 days. So it makes me wonder how many of those days are actually like paid vacation. Or it's like, oh yeah, you can have an off day, but we're not going to pay you. So you end up having them say, well, I'll just work because I can't afford to not.
In 2014, a Gallup survey was taken to find out how many hours full-time workers clocked in. And the results were that 18% work over 60 hours a week. 21% work 50 to 59 hours per week, and 11% work 41 to 49 hours per week. Even after working longer hours, many still find themselves unable to have enough money to buy anything other than the necessities.
Even I just finished working at a job where I would clock in 70 to 80 hours weekly. It is starting to seem that the 40-hour work week is becoming a thing of the past as prices on everything continually increase, while the wages of the people working kinda stays the same.
So, we want to know, how many hours are you working per week? And do you feel like you're being compensated for that time put in? Let us know in the comment section below. In the meantime, get rid of the Monday blues and put your best foot forward, because that promotion might be just around the corner on this day.
Today of all days.
Today of all days.
And we will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.